nothing personal, but one of you has to go.
Alrighty, so this video is definitely going to be different compared to the videos I've been doing, but regardless, I hope y'all enjoy. These are my theories on the story of Exo Zombies. So my first theory on the Exo Zombies story goes like this. The Exo Zombies storyline takes place after the main campaign of Advanced Warfare, as the war between Atlas and Sentinel is still ongoing and Manticore is still being dropped in certain areas. We can also assume it takes place after the main campaign, or at least towards the end of the main campaign, as Lilith quotes Hades by saying, "Irons knows. He knows."
Irons knows. He knows!
Hades said this before he succumbed to his wounds in the year 2059, and Manticore was first announced in 2060, which clearly was shortly thereafter Hades had died.
I send again. Hades is EKIA.
He knows. Irons knows.
And as a reminder, the main campaign of Advanced Warfare ends in the year 2061. Another thing that points to the Exo Zombies story taking place after the main campaign story is the fact that Mitchell says at the end of the game that this wasn't the end. And in fact, it was just the beginning. Then, in Exo Survival, we see Gideon is still a Sentinel operative carrying out missions in order to stop the Atlas Manticore assault. Now, if you played the main campaign, then you know Gideon was taken to the exact prison that is known as the map Riot, which is where our story for Exo Zombies start. In Exo Survival, on the map Riot. The story here goes like this. 4 Sentinel operatives are sent to the prison to shut it down and eliminate any Atlas forces occupying it. However, during this mission, a Manticore strike occurs which knocks the Sentinel operatives to the ground. The operatives then receive a transmission telling them that they'll have an escort out of there shortly, all while the Atlas soldiers they were just fighting start charging at them like rabid animals, including the soldiers that they had previously killed. Once the escort arrives, we see Gideon is aboard the VTOL and is the one who directly saves the sole surviving operative. But sadly, as the VTOL is gaining altitude, a zombie in an exosuit jumps up and latches onto Gideon, pulling him out of the VTOL. Now, let's get into a theory within a theory that I came up with when writing the script for this video. It simply goes like this. It is possible, and when I say possible, I mean there is a very slight possibility that the VTOL with the surviving operative and pilot is the same VTOL that's crashed outside the map on Outbreak. If that's the case, that would mean Atlas had shot them down in order to prevent any Sentinel operatives from escaping the prison Manticore assault, as well as preventing the Sentinel operatives from landing and saving any of the workers at the research facility that is known as the map Outbreak. But that's just my theory. What's more likely is the VTOL we see crashed outside the map belongs to Atlas, and because the events of Outbreak were orchestrated by Atlas, it's likely they blew up the VTOL themselves in order to prevent any escapes, maximizing the infection count. Now we'll move on to my second theory, but before diving into it, we must dive into another theory within a theory. However, this theory is not mine, but I am using it to back mine up. So let's begin, shall we? Thanks to S10 Galaxy 2, we have a solid theory connecting Advanced Warfare to the Modern Warfare timeline, and if you want to read the whole thing, I'll go ahead and leave it on screen for a second so you can pause and read it. But in short, it's possible that Advanced Warfare is connected to Modern Warfare via a quote by Jonathan Irons and some timelines given within the game's story. Okay, so you may ask, why are you worried about connecting the story to Modern Warfare? This is why. Modern Warfare is connected to Infinite Warfare. And now you may be asking, why do you care about Infinite Warfare? Well, if you ever seen the ending of Infinite Warfare Zombies, then you may remember that all of the maps / areas, or movies if you will, that the characters visit take place in pocket dimensions, with those same pocket dimensions being held inside a jar that's being contained in a theater. So, what if the events of Exo Zombies takes place within one of these pocket dimensions? It would certainly make sense as to why we never heard from the Exo Zombie crew again, especially since the Exo Zombie story left off on a massive cliffhanger. This theory is definitely the less likely of the two, but it was still fun to conjure up and to theorize about. Regardless, I want to know what y'all think. Do you think Exo Zombies is connected to anything outside of Advanced Warfare? Or do you think the story of Advanced Warfare and its Exo Zombies are a self-contained story? Feel free to let me know, as I always love to hear y'all's opinions. Also, like always, huge shout out to Mercenary X84 and Best Man Gamer for being members. Y'all are absolute beasts, and I can't thank you both enough for sticking by my side for so long. And honestly, the same goes for everyone else. Thank you all for sticking with me through all of the delays, postpones, and whatever else. I really appreciate you all. The love, support, and patience y'all show, along with just y'all in general, mean a lot to me. So thank you. But with my ramblings finally out the way, it's been ugly, and I'll see y'all in the next one.